What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the deliciously dank Dr. Disaster. And unfortunately for the people who think that pushing woke crap into video game spaces is a good idea, there have been obvious consequences for such things, as we have seen with the likes of Warner Brothers.
I'll swallow your soul! I'll swallow your soul! I'll swallow your soul!
Swallow this.
Last year, they were absolutely destroyed with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, a Sweet Baby Inc. infested game which gamers absolutely despised. They were shellacked so hard by the failings of that game that they lost multiple hundreds of millions of dollars and had to shut down about a quarter of their studios, including Monolith Productions, which was making the Wonder Woman game. The losses for this company, and not just in video games, but the losses have been so bad that it was just announced that the CEO of the company just took a massive pay cut.
What is this? Where's all the money?
The dude's annual salary is being shrunk to almost a third of what he was making before, which still seems like too damn much for the sort of bozo who would greenlight the likes of the Velma Scooby-Doo show on HBO Max, or the live service Sweet Baby Slop that was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. But now it looks like there might be some sort of plans in the works between Warner and Sony.
What are you two homos doing?
Warner is in a shitty place right now, so the absolute behemoth that is Sony appears to be considering swooping in and buying up the rights to various assets in gaming that Warner holds, including the likes of Harry Potter, the DC Universe, Mortal Kombat, etc. Normally, people might be excited to see properties like this liberated from a bunch of shitheads like Warner, but considering the direction that Sony has gone lately, with the likes of woke trash like Concord, The Last of Us 2, and the upcoming Fair games, and considering how focused they've been on live service titles, it is not hard to imagine how gamers would respond if you asked them if they were excited about this buyout.
How do I put this? No.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and don't forget to follow me over on Rumble, where I've started uploading some content as well. Anyhow, let's take a look at this potential Warner and Sony deal. Clearly there are major problems at Warner, and clearly Sony smells blood in the water. After all, you don't lower the salary of your CEO like this unless there are some major issues going on at the company. As you can see here, the CEO, David Zaslav, went from $22 million per year to $6 million, and he went from a stock bonus target of $23.5 million to $7.5 million. All of that is still way too much, considering how this dude has run the company into the ground over the past several years, but still, the fact that his salary is going down like this bespeaks a company that is struggling mightily. As we discussed last month, the first quarter of this newest fiscal year saw Warner drop 48% year over year in games revenue, and that is especially bad since the previous year was already a down year for them in the wake of the massive flop that was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It has been widely reported that the only thing that has been carrying their ass over the past couple of years has been Hogwarts Legacy. Even a couple of years after the release of that game, it is still selling copies, which is especially noteworthy considering that J.K. Rowling has put herself in the crosshairs of the woke mob with her opinion on the trans stuff, and they really had it out for her. They didn't want this game to do well, but surprise, surprise, it succeeded. In any event though, with the context of all the negativity surrounding Warner right now, let's look at this potential deal between Sony and Warner. We are going to read about it in this article here from SE Scoops. It says here, less than a week after Warner Brothers Discovery announced it was splitting into two separate companies, Sony is considering a purchase of Warner Brothers streaming and other assets. Sources have told SE Scoops that Sony is considering a purchase of the newly announced Warner Brothers Streaming and Studios company, which is expected to complete its separation from Warner Brothers Global Networks by mid-2026. Sony is interested in acquiring the HBO Max streaming service, IPs, and its gaming assets. Warner Brothers announced on June 9th it was splitting the company, with most of the company's $37 billion in debt attached to the Warner Global Networks, which includes its vast number of cable channels, including CNN, TNT, and TBS. So, Warner is doing something similar to Ubisoft here. You may remember that Ubisoft is creating a separate business entity which will house the likes of Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. All their valuable properties will be going into this separate business entity, and everything else is being left behind in a worthless shell. In this instance, with Warner, they are taking all of their crappy cable networks like CNN and TBS, and they're splitting them up into a separate company away from the likes of DC and HBO Max. And then they are saddling the company with all their cable networks with all of the debt. How this shit is even legal is beyond me. You would think that creditors would be pretty pissed, considering that the secondary company being created seems to be forged simply for the purpose of going bankrupt eventually. But in the same way that Tencent bought into the valuable section of Ubisoft, now that they have segregated the value away from the lack of value, Sony looks like it is interested in snatching up the big IP from Warner. Reading on though, the article says Sony and Warner Brothers Discovery were working together to build a joint movie studio in Las Vegas this year. According to Variety, the proposal for the 31-acre facility ended on June 3rd after the Nevada State Senate rejected a $95 million annual tax subsidy. Sources said Sony was only interested in acquiring Warner's streaming, studio, and gaming assets if they were separated from its cable networks, which have lost millions of homes as viewers abandon traditional cable packages. So, the fact that Warner is in fact splitting their company up in this way strongly suggests that this rumored deal is indeed something that they are planning to go through with. Unfortunately, I don't think Sony buying any of this gives me any extra hope for the IPs like Mortal Kombat that Warner has shit all over. They haven't been strong custodians of their own IPs over at Sony, so it's hard to imagine this being good news at all for gamers. But I'm gonna leave it there. What do you make of this potential buyout? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching me, Hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.